sweeping flanking maneuvers of the mobile guard, the very tactics that had destroyed entire Roman armies at Hazir and Ajnadain would be completely mathematically impossible. This would not be a battle of speed, deception, or maneuver. This would be a horrifying, grinding collision of pure infantry endurance. Khalid ibn al-Walid rode to the absolute front of the army. He stared at the dense, heavily armored Roman shield wall blocking the bridge. The Romans were desperate. They were fighting with their backs to the river, defending the final jewel of their empire. These were men who had nothing left to lose, and they would not break easily. Khalid knew that throwing his elite cavalry directly into a braced, densely packed wall of heavy Roman spears in a narrow choke point was a tactical death sentence. It would result in the mass slaughter of his veteran horsemen. He needed to shatter the structural integrity of the Roman line first. He needed to create a wound in their formation. He needed his most terrifying shock troops. He turned his gaze toward the legendary veteran of the infantry, a man who thrived in the absolute most brutal, claustrophobic, close-quarters combat imaginable. Zarar. Zarar stepped to the very front of the Muslim lines. Stripped of heavy armor, relying on pure kinetic speed, lethal precision, and unshakable faith, he was a terrifying figure to the Romans. He was a commander who had survived the most physically devastating clashes of the entire war. Behind him, thousands of hardened Muslim infantrymen gripped their spears and broadswords. They had marched from the burning sands of Arabia, dismantled the greatest empire on earth, and now only one bridge stood between them and the capital of the East. Abu Ubaidah gave the ultimate order. The stark black banners of the Rashidun Caliphate were raised high into the Syrian sky, snapping aggressively in the wind. With a deafening, unified roar of Allahu Akbar that echoed off the distant mountains, the Muslim infantry surged forward. The Battle of the Iron Bridge had begun. The initial clash was a catastrophic explosion of noise and kinetic violence. The Muslim vanguard, led by the ferocious, unstoppable momentum of Zarar, smashed violently into the Roman shield wall. Instantly, the narrow plains before the Iron Bridge turned into a claustrophobic nightmare of blood, sweat, and steel. Because of the geographic choke point, the lines were compressed. There was absolutely no room to maneuver.